What's up, Fretslayers? Jesse here. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're not doing a deep dive on gear, no tasty licks. This is a full-on confession. This is the story of the one that got away. The guitar I should have never sold. So if you guys watch my channel at all, you know that I'm a Les Paul fan. I still remember the first time I saw one. The binding, those block inlays, that unapologetically badass silhouette. I was in love. Les Pauls ride that perfect line between elegance and edge. The Les Paul is like the girl you want to marry. Classy on the surface, but she's got some nasty tricks up her sleeve. That's good advice. And yeah, sure, the neck joint is a brick and the headstock will break if you look at it funny. But the sound, the sound. It's so fat, creamy. That bridge pickup's got all the bite and snarl you could ever want, and as soon as you flip up to that neck, it's instant slash, who was a big part of my musical journey. So as I developed as a player, I started to notice a trend. All of my favorite players also played Les Pauls. Slash, Joe Bonamassa, John Sykes, Randy Rhoads, Zakk Wylde, Justin Hawkins. It is what set the hook and made me an official single cut junkie. So I finally did it. I scraped up enough cash to buy my first Les Paul, and it was an Epiphone actually. And to be honest, it could have been the biggest piece of shit in the world, but I didn't care. I had finally arrived. Yeah, sure, the high frets were an absolute chore. It weighed as much as a bowling ball, but the sound. It sounded like a damn freight train, and I dig that. But then life threw a curveball, as it always does. Money got tight, rent was due, and I had to make a call. The only two things I owned that were of any value were that guitar and my vehicle. And I will say I gave strong consideration to selling the car, but I did not. I sold the guitar, and it sucked. My girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, I still remember her being like, ooh, man, he's upset. But a few years went by and things got better. I got a job as a fireman, started saving some cash, and the itch was back. Now, still to this day, my dream guitar is a Gibson Les Paul Custom. I think it's the most beautiful guitar ever produced, but at a $5,000 price point, which is ridiculous, I go, maybe I'll just buy a standard instead. I'll grab a standard used or something like that. We'll call it a win. It'll be my first proper Les Paul. But instead I found her, a 2022 Gibson Les Paul Classic. Slightly underwhelming, but something about it spoke to me. The guy who was selling it had about $500 in upgrades wrapped up into it. He had a setup done at Sweetwater. He had the pickups changed to the Gibson Dirty Fingers, something else in the neck, and he was chasing a cheap man's John Sykes model. And my inner fanboy was like, take my money. So I paid $1,500 flat. It was a steal. So this thing showed up to my house. I remember opening the box and going, wow, dude never played this guitar. It was flawless. I gave it its first little G. Hard to tell right now over the camera, but it rang louder acoustically than any other guitar I've ever played. And it just vibrates. The whole thing, you can feel it in your neck and into the body. It's like really inspiring. It's like a very interactive experience. The action was perfect. It was in perfect tune. The intonation was perfect. No fret buzz, and the action was surprisingly low. But then I plugged it in. Did I mention sustain? No tricks. No tricks. No, nothing. It's just still going, baby. Still going. Insane. This is not normal. Still going. Still going. It was the first time I was able to recreate the sound in my head through a guitar. It was super cool. So I gigged with this thing, I recorded with it, I took it everywhere. It made me feel invincible. And the most important part is whenever I played this guitar, I played better with it. So this went on for a couple years until one day I had a fucking sweet idea. And And I thought to myself, if this classic is this good, how amazing is a standard or custom, right? Yeah, I'm not dumb. So then one day, one of my guitar buddies told me he was in the market to buy his first Les Paul. And I'm like, I know he'll buy this guitar. It's a freaking monster. Everyone who's ever played this guitar was like, dude, that thing's sick. So I'm like, I already got a buyer lined up. I'll let him try it out. So he did. And 10 minutes of playing, he's like, oh yeah, dude, I'll take that. So I sold it for $1,300. Not entirely sure what I was thinking, but it made me feel better knowing it was going to a good home. And I even thought to myself, I'm like, he'd probably sell it back to me one day if I'd asked. So with a whopping $1,300, I decided to go shopping. I'm gonna upgrade my Les Paul. Except there's one problem. It's now post-COVID. Everything's gone way up in price. The customs are like $5,000. The standards, I think, are $3,000 at this point. And of all the guitars I tried, and I drove everywhere, all over town, tried all the Les Pauls I could, none of them felt right. So since then, I've owned 3 other Les Pauls. I've played probably a couple hundred. I even owned that fancy Les Paul Access, thinking it was going to be the answer, you know, like Les Paul meets Shred. I hated it. None of them hit as hard as this classic. I got desperate, and I decided to call my friend and ask him if he would sell me this guitar back. I knew it was going to be awkward, but I was pretty sure he would do it. And he told me no. Homeboy didn't even hesitate. And I was a little miffed. I was like, dude, you wouldn't even own that guitar if it weren't for me. Instead of going nuclear, I decided to keep my mouth shut and sit on it for a few days. And after a few days of reflection, I came to my senses and realized that he was right to keep it. I was the one that fucked up. So I let hype, labels, and ego talk me out of the one guitar that felt like home. So I thought this would make a good YouTube video. And my friend was kind enough to lend me the guitar so I could make it. And I'm thinking about stealing it. I'm just kidding. But since I sold that guitar, lately I've been rocking this heavily modded 2009 Traditional Pro. You've seen it on my channel, guaranteed. And I've grown to love it. It's a good guitar. But now that I have the other one in my possession again, that regret is hitting pretty hard. I feel bad for this guitar because when I'm with her, I'm thinking about her. Yeah, things are getting kind of weird around here. So if you take anything away from this video, don't sell the one. Don't let brand names or model hype cloud your judgment. If the guitar feels like you should probably keep it. So, I want to hear from you guys. What is that one guitar you wish you never sold, or that trade that still haunts you to this day? Drop it in the comments below. So if this one hits you in the feelers, please do me a solid, like the video and subscribe to my channel. Also consider joining my free guitar community called the Fretslayer Hub, linked down below. Until next time, keep shredding, don't sell your soul or your favorite guitar.